Hey, good morning. It's time for our weekly Redfin live housing update. Welcome to the Housing Nerd. If you are new here, my name is Jason Ferrier. I am a realtor and investor just outside of Central Ohio, and I've been in real estate about 7 years now. And this live is all about the housing market, analyzing what's happening with the housing market using the latest Redfin data. And for the next hour, that's what we're going to do together. We're going to look at the national picture according to the latest Redfin info. Then we're going to look at several metros across the US. And this is completely interactive. So I want you to join in, hit the like button, subscribe to the Housing Nerd, but certainly ask about your specific metro, where you are. I've got a short list of some metros that you guys have requested already. And we'll get to those as we get to the end of this live. So, and by the way, hope you had a great weekend. It's a mild, feels like early summer day here in Central Ohio. And thanks for joining us. And by the way, if you are looking for somebody to tell you to buy a home, like a typical realtor, that's not me. I'm not going to tell you to buy a home. I'm not going to tell you now is the best time to buy. I'm also not going to tell you that the housing market has never been so toxic and you shouldn't buy a home. I'm not going to tell you that either. I'm going to give you the information you need so you can make your own decision, because I don't know your situation. I just don't. And I don't know the market you're in like you can know it. So for me to tell you to buy or not to buy is insane, in my opinion. So let's get to the info. And this is the latest Redfin data report. I like to do this a lot earlier in the week, like on the weekends or maybe on Friday, but didn't get to it this week. Just too many clients right now. Home price growth is losing steam as buyers back off amid economic instability and high costs. U.S. home prices are growing half as fast as they were at the end of last year. So you're going to see that home price growth, like home prices aren't going down nationally yet, but the growth is slowing. Nationwide, the median home sale price rose 2.6% year over year during the 4 weeks ending April 13th. That's roughly the same as the increases we've seen over the last month, but down from 5 to 6% growth at the end of 2024 and the start of 2025. So last year, home prices were growing nationally about 5 to 6% for the median household price or median home price in the US, and now they're growing only 2.5%. On a metro level, the median home sale price is down from a year ago in 10 of the 50 most populous US metros, mostly in Texas and Florida. And so for the last, few years, it's felt like most of these reports are, there's only 1 or 2 metros down, maybe 3 or 4, but now there's 10. No surprise, most of them are in Texas and Florida. Price growth is losing steam nationally, and prices are dropping in some metro areas because supply is rising while demand is slow. New listings of homes for sale are up 11.2% year over year, and the total number of homes for sale is up 12.3%. Meanwhile, pending home sales declined roughly 1% from a year ago. Mortgage purchase applications are down 5% week over week, and Redfin agents in many parts of the country report that house hunters are backing off. So for Redfin to say that, it's, they're usually, according to y'all and most other people, I guess in the world of real estate YouTube, think that Redfin is always lying. They're cooking the books. So I guess if they're saying that demand is down, does that mean demand is actually up? Just kidding. It's probably down, but people like to beat on Redfin. It's just kind of entertaining, that's all. Record high housing costs. The median U.S. monthly housing payment hit an all-time high of $2,819 this week due to stubbornly high mortgage rates and rising home prices, though buyers may get a bit of relief on the prices in the coming months if growth continues to lose steam. Widespread economic instability is another reason why people are backing off. Tariffs, stock market volatility, and recession jitters are weighing heavily on consumer confidence, sending many would-be buyers to the sidelines. This sense of financial instability, along with concerns that home values could decline, is making many people think twice about making a big purchase. New listings are rising, in part because some homeowners want to sell their house now before a potential economic downturn further dampens demand and drives down home values. There's also the holiday effect. Part of the reason for the year-over-year increase in new listings is because Easter fell into a comparable period in 2024, but hasn't occurred yet in 2025. Well, it did just happen. Easter just happened. A lot of buyers, especially first-timers, are backing off because they're nervous about a potential recession, said Venus Martinez, a Redfin Premier agent in Los Angeles. Some house hunters are hanging out on the sidelines because they're hopeful mortgage rates will come down soon. The buyers who are still active, typically those need to move, are picky and unwilling to pay over asking price. And those buyers have the right strategy. Many of today's sellers are willing to negotiate the price down. That is true. So comment below what you've heard so far from Redfin. I mean, they're saying prices are still high, payments are still high, and rates are still high. So that's one reason. And the other reason is people don't know what's going to happen to the economy. Has there ever been a time when we knew what was going to happen to the economy? Has that ever happened? Like, has there ever been a time when you're like, hey, I know exactly what's going to happen with the stock market and the economy? I'm not sure there has been. Let me know if I'm nuts, but it doesn't seem like there has been. My point is, like, economic uncertainty, I don't know. To me, it's kind of an excuse. I'm not saying you should buy a house now, by the way. You're not going to hear that from me. Got the dogs barking. Must be somebody up front. Anyway, sorry, I was distracted. But at the end of the day, you really got to make that decision yourself, right, about if you're going to buy a home or not. And there's no doubt that sellers right now are willing to negotiate. And for those that think there's not an opportunity to buy if you do want to purchase a home, for those that think that you can't find a deal, or Gen Z and millennials are locked out of the housing market forever and it's all unfair, and if only those greedy boomers would give up their homes, I could get my house and be on the end of the success ladder. I mean, you're fooling yourself. There are tons of opportunities to buy homes still. You just have to do things others are unwilling to do. Like, that burning bush isn't going to happen, right? You're not going to walk into an open house and be like, man, this house is like priced way under market. The guy's fire saling the thing. It's in perfect moving condition, and there's not a person around who's going to compete with me. And by the way, rates are low. Like, all the stars align, they lock in, right? And then you've got your chance. No. There's always going to be something out of alignment. You just got to figure out how to do it. You're going to see some videos from me this week, in the coming 2 weeks, about how to find an opportunity and actually test real life examples of people who are still buying homes for good deals, by the way, not retail prices. They're buying homes and finding homes as investment properties, regardless of what's going on in the market. But if you listen to people on YouTube who use the MLS to find information, that's where you'll lose, because the MLS is like, it's like the bin that's been picked over at the bargain store. There's nothing in there. There's nothing in there. You got to go somewhere else in the store. Go to the back, where nobody's back there. Walk around the back of the store. What's back here? Look around. Aha! They're out there, folks. You just got to do the work. Got to do the work. All right. Now, let's do leading indicators. So this is where we talk about mortgage rates and demand and all that jazz. So, weekly average 30-year fixed mortgage rate, 6.86%. Daily average 30-year fixed mortgage rate. Maybe I said weekly, but it's daily average 30-year fixed mortgage rate, 6.86%. Nearly the highest level in 2 months, but this is a few days old. So let's do this. Let's go to, let me go to Mortgage News Daily, and let's find out what they are there. All right, Mortgage News Daily has them at 6.87%. You can see that right here, right? So at one point they were over 7, right? Then they dropped dang near like 6.5. Then they went up crazy, like they shot through the roof. over the last, like, I don't know, it was like 2 weeks, it's probably been 3 weeks ago now. They shot through the roof. Everybody got all crazy about the tariffs, and they went in the 10-year treasury, right? And all that drama. And then, they went through the roof. Then they kind of have started to drop, a little more. Overall, like, a lot of people are predicting that mortgage rates are going to stick in that like 6.5% to 7% range all year, even next year, maybe. Don't know. But it's a big like talking point as far as what's going to happen with the administration and if they're going to lower interest rates or not. Are they going to try to lower interest rates? Meaning they've got kind of levers to pull, right? They can try to make the Fed lower the federal funds rate, but that doesn't really directly affect interest rates on mortgages. But then they can also try to lower the treasury rate, the 10-year treasury, which will bring interest rates down. Like, which one, will they try to massage both of those in order to bring rates down? I don't know if they're going to be successful or if they're going to try. I do know, though, all of them, mostly all of them, invest in real estate. They also all invest in assets. Those assets are bought with debt. They're not bought with grandma's Christmas cards they've been saving for the last 50 years. Like, oh, I got my $10, I'll put it in my bag or my little money jar, and then I can buy my house. No. They're using debt, right? Got to have lower debt rates if you want to buy more stuff a lot of times. Not always. That's not the way life always works, but that's the way most, billionaires think. They got to use debt. So to do that, they need lower debt rates. My prediction is they'll try to lower it. I don't know if they'll be successful. It'll probably be temporary, followed by massive amounts of more pain, but whatever. Point is, waiting for the right interest rate may cost you, because it did just a few weeks ago when rates were 6.5. Now they're 6.87. So yeah, it can cost you. And by the way, comment below. Let me know what market you want me to analyze coming up here. I'm going to do it on the second half of the video. I've got about an hour total with you guys before I got to jump and go look at another investment property, go talk to a seller about listing their house. Weekly average 30-year fixed mortgage rate, 6.62%. Mortgage purchase applications down 5% from a week earlier. So mortgage purchase applications are actually down compared to a week earlier, but up 13% from a year earlier. But they say you got Easter in there messing things up with the data. I mean, the fact is, you're going to see that in the numbers. There's not a ton of people running out to buy a house right now. There's just not. There are buyers. I mean, I've got several listings that have closed recently. I've got several that are in contract. I've got several new listings where I'm already getting calls about the listings. And they've just been up a couple days. So like, there are buyers, but it's not like, a flood of buyers coming in trying to snatch up, property at over asking prices, which is good. This is good. Touring activity. How many people are out seeing homes? Up 39% from the start of the year. Okay. Well, it should be, because the start of the year was January, when it's like a frozen tundra. At this time last year, it was up 33%. So it's up a little bit compared to last year, but not much. Not much. And then Google searches for homes is up 10% from a month earlier. More people typing in Google home for sale, up 4% from last year. One would think that means that there's a little bit more demand, but not a lot. Not a lot. Don't be fooled. I mean, I know you guys are smarter than this. I know you are. But don't be fooled. And if you're new joining me or joining us today, you're going to see a lot of realtors on social media, particularly like Instagram, right? Or Facebook. That's like the graveyard of realtors. I mean, you look on Instagram or Facebook for like an hour total in a week, and you're going to be sick for that whole hour, because if your feed is anything like mine, every realtor's like, now's the best time to buy. Marry the house, date the rate. Right? It's like the weakest advice you could possibly get. This is why you need to review the data with the housing nerd, because we go over real data, not like marry the house, date the rate. Median sale price. What's that doing in the U.S.? $387,000, up 2.6%. Still up year over year, not up as much as it has been, though, which is good. Median asking price. There are a few people like Melody Wright who talk about median asking price and say, when you see this start to come down, then you'll know we're in for a big correction. She kind of hung her hat, though I haven't heard her talk about it lately. She was at the beginning of the year talking about median asking price. That has not crashed, Melody, yet. We're at 428,530. I don't believe that she's correct. I think that you may see median asking price continue to be sticky high because you're going to have, I think there's a lot of expensive homes that are still being listed on the market. And versus affordable homes. Median monthly mortgage payment, $2,819 at a 6.62% rate. So now at a 6.87% rate. It's definitely a record high. It's a record high. Pending home sales, 87,000. That's down 0.8%. You'll see something in a minute that'll make you pause with data, because what I'm going to show you in a little while with active listings, pending listings, and new listings shows that like things aren't all rosy for the housing market if you're waiting on more inventory. There are some indicators I'm looking at going, that's not good. One of them is kind of pending sales. Like, it's not good by any means, but it's not like straight down either. You can sense it. Any sense of like, it's like the stock market when they gave that fake news about, I don't know, tariff reversal that day, and the stock market went through the roof in a couple seconds. Like literally a couple seconds, it went parabolic. Any hint of lower rates brings people to the table for mortgage applications. Rates matter. They just do. And they matter more than math to a lot of consumers. I'm not saying that's the right thing. I'm saying that's how consumers act. So lower rates, more pending sales will come. New listings, 103,000, up 11.2%, not near enough. We don't have near enough new listings to cause any type of catastrophic housing collapse. Active listings, not enough, up 12.3%. This is what you need to pay attention to, folks. A lot of people will ignore this when they review this report. Smallest increase in a year over year with active listings. You're going to see the rate of change is going down. It's not going up. So like the spread from last year to this year is getting smaller. Months of supply, 4.1. That's up 0.7 points. But again, this can be really deceiving because a lot of good houses are not on the market. A lot of very expensive homes are on the market that are just sitting. There are expensive homes that are moving, by the way, too. And I'm amazed how many expensive homes are paid with cash. I'm amazed by that. Maybe that's always happened. I've only been in real estate 7 years, but like, if I list or comp $1 million+ home, which in this area is like rare. Most people aren't buying $1 million homes here. If I comp $1 million home, I'm amazed how many of those comps are cash. I'm shocked. But my point is that with months of supply, there's a lot of homes that are just priced bad. They need a ton of work. They're just destroyed homes that are on the market, and that's driving the months of supply up. Share of homes off the market in 2 weeks or less, 39.4, down from 42%. That delta is decreasing as well. Median days on market, only 41. That feels like it's coming down. I think it is. Plus 5 days compared to last year. Share of homes sold above list price, 25.8. People are still paying. Over a quarter of listings are still being sold over asking. Isn't that crazy? Average sale to list price ratio, 98.7%. So on average, people are getting a 1.3% discount. Nothing to really be excited about. I'm going to skip these areas, these leading metros, because we're going to go into the real data here in a minute. And yeah, in fact, let's do this. Let's just go there now. I'll look and see if there's any comments. I don't know if there any are any comments. But before we get into this data in the data center, I'll look at and see if there's any comments. Oh, I got some here. Oh, Dan in the dirt. He's here. Okay, I'll say hi to some people. Dan in the dirt, what's up? Is that your truck? That's a cool truck. I like old trucks like that. That's neat. Kevin Ike with an alien. I'm looking to buy a home now, but these people trying to make 300 to 400% is absurd. Home sitting over 60, 70. I guess days on market, right? If I see that, I'm making a disrespectful offer, man. I call everybody man, by the way. So I just kind of my lingo. So don't take offense to it if it doesn't apply. Yeah, I would just make a disrespectful offer. I would like write an offer every week, every day. Just send in an offer and put a, just make an offer that makes sense to you. Make the offer, move on. If they don't like it, they'll tell you, right? Cool. Thank you, Kevin, for joining us, and thanks for the comment. Yeah, 60 to 70 days. I don't know where you live and what is average. You want to figure out what is average days on market in your area. Then look at that and go, all right, well, what's my days on market now? What am I looking at? And if you're looking at 60 to 70 on a house and average days on market in your market's like 30 days, yeah, then you make a disrespectful offer because you're like, man, this house has been on a long time. However, I would caution you against this, though, this part. Don't worry about how much they're making. Don't worry about that. Like, it's really not, it's almost not material. It doesn't really have any weight on the situation. Like, so what, they're making 300 to 400%. I mean, I understand the price is high, but like, just focus on your deal. Like, what can you get the house for? Don't worry about what they're making. I'm hanging out, going month to month, waiting for the perfect time. Not a bad idea. I would just encourage you to make offers. And making 1 or 2 offers in a year is not a lot of offers. You want to make like 1 a week if you can. Just write offers, man. Throw them out there. Somebody will bite. Somebody will bite. Mr. Morotica, hanging out on Magnolia Hollow. Just sold a home and in not a rush to reinvest due to uncertainties. Magnolia Hollow. I don't know where that is. Is that in Ohio? I've never heard of that. Okay. Yeah. Hang out. Rent. No big deal. There's a lot of people I know that rent their primary home and invest. A lot of people do. Grant Cardone does that, I think. At least he used to. I'm not a huge fan of Grant Cardone, but I know he's a proponent of renting your primary home and investing. Dan in the dirt. Yeah, what's up with this FHA thing? We are back trying to find a home with regular FHA. My scores haven't gone up in 2 months. We tried everything. Was told by Zillow, Kentucky Realtor, we have a very hard time finding a 150K home that will pass HUD inspection. Unbelievable. I would agree with that. Well, I don't know the Kentucky market, but like that 150 range to $200,000 range is really tough. Really tough. In Ohio, it's very hard to find something that'll pass FHA or HUD, whatever, VA, USDA. Very challenging in that price point because despite what a lot of people wish, want, and hope for, as far as like no one's buying, there are people buying lower priced homes. Like I'm helping people right now try to find a $200,000 home in Columbus. It's not easy. Not easy at all. To find something, and they're going quick. Like we're finding homes on the market that have been on the market 2 days and they got multiple offers. Like they're calling for best and highest after being on the market for 2 days. A lot of cash sales still in that price range. So not easy. I would agree. If you're you may be struggling with that for a while. Have you looked at, I know you have, right? Have you looked at that FHA 203K loan? That could help. I think you have, right? But even that, you've got to find the right one. You got to have the right credit score. So I get it. And I wish you all the luck. I know, Dan, you've been at it a while. So just keep plugging. Just keep plugging away. Is rate as important as total monthly cost to carry? Well, I guess, that, I guess, I don't know how to answer this because like your monthly payment is a lot of it comes from your rate. right? Just the numbers just have to work, is what I guess what I would say to you. Like if they, like what's your monthly budget? What's your total cost? Unless you're talking about an investment property, it's still the same thing. You should have to set your ROI and go, what payment do I need for the ROI to work? And then, and for it to cash flow. So I think that's kind of all mixed together. Good morning. Good morning, DJ Forecast. Are you really a DJ? That's pretty cool. Way cooler than me. I'm just a dumb realtor. Elton Vance. What's up? Good morning, Elton. I found a new build for $430K at 6.3% VA loan. As always, thank you for your service, Elton. Better than existing homes. Yeah. I'm sure it is. Could be. Could be. VA loan, yeah. Great. The builder's not giving you anything? They're not giving you like a 3% rate or something? Evidently not. All right. What time is it? Got to keep moving. Night Cry, D. Paul. Good morning. Good morning to you. Like your dog there. Pretty animal. Love the dogs. Night Cry. We drove an area on Saturday. We only travel once a year. I was surprised to see many of the same homes for sales signs that we saw last year. I don't know if I think you are in the mode of buying, right? Those are the people I'd send letters to. I'd send letters directly to the homeowner. If you're not an agent, you're not beholden to the agent who's listing the property. Send it to the homeowner. Hey, saw your house. Wondering if you're interested in selling. Yeah, Night Cry, I think I am. Oh, here's my offer. Maybe you're not interested after I make my offer, but you'll find somebody. Good job driving an area. I think you were driving for dollars, right? At one point, isn't that what you're doing? Dan in the Dirt. Yeah, it's a 1964 Dodge W300 110 one-ton power wagon, swapped with a 4-cylinder Cummins turbo diesel. Huh, cool. Nice truck, man. That's awesome. Italian beef and Pepsi. Hit the like button. Thank you. Yeah, hit the like button. I have my own townhome up for sale, 205K. Been in the market for 14 days. No offers. When should I cut the price and for how much? Oh, man, I can't answer that. I wish I could. I don't know. Your realtor's going to have to answer that. It just depends on what your horizon is and what are the other houses in the area doing? Like, do you have any other townhomes in that complex that are for sale that are comps? What are they on the market for, and how are they doing? Or go back in the history of the townhomes. So I guess I could help you. Go back to the history of the townhomes in the area, like in your subdivision. Look for how long they were on the market and look for a comparable property. And then ask yourself, if you were out looking for a property and you wanted a townhome in that subdivision, why would they go to yours versus another one? Unless if yours is overpriced or the same price even. So like if there's another one out there for 205 and you're not getting any love, then it's usually the price. It just usually is. So like, why would someone go to your house versus somebody else's? And if you can't answer that question, like, well, they really wouldn't, obviously, then you're going to have to lower the price to sell it, probably. Unless there are, unless there's a bunch of houses, I guess, that are in contract now in your subdivision that are going to come off the market, then you're like the only game in town at that point. Maybe then you attract a buyer at your price. But other than that, I would, you obviously may want to cut the price. By how much? I mean, that's really a hard thing for me to answer. It's that's up to you. It's unfortunately price wins in real estate. That's what sells homes, not Facebook, not realtor marketing. Anybody tells you that is, unless it's off market, that's different. A pocket listing. But if it's on the market, everybody's seeing it. And so it's all about price. So you got to look at what the other ones have sold for, then, you know, then drop it accordingly. You're right. Make offers. Most buyer agents are not encouraging that enough, in my opinion. I agree. You got to make offers. Is it true that FHA allows 0% down payment? I'm not advocating this path. There are NASIC. Yes, there are programs like that. I'm not a mortgage expert. You should reach out to a mortgage professional. But yes, there are programs FHA has where you can put 0% down with some type of grant. Although there's a lot of those grants that are dried up already this year. At least in Ohio, there's a lot of them that are dried up. But I would, if you're looking to buy a home and the down payment is a concern, I would get with a mortgage professional, a broker probably, and find, just look at every possible option out there for you, like FHA, conventional, whatever. And the other thing, nobody ever talks about this really, but owner financing. Look at owner financing. That's not a bad way to go sometimes, especially if your credit is not great. You can work with the owner or the seller who doesn't maybe own anything. Even if they do own something, you can still do owner financing in a lot of ways. And this is not a sub-2. This is not illegal. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about owner financing, but that's probably another video. Okay. Hey, you're welcome. It's tough for me to answer in a different market, but I did my best. Okay, let's look at this data because I could sit and talk to you guys forever, which isn't a bad thing. All right, new listings of homes for sale. Up 11, whoops, here we go. Up 11% year over year. We know that. This is what we should look at here is the rate of change, right? Look at the rate of change is down here. Whoops. Yeah, so rate of change measures obviously how much it's changing year over year, not just the actual volume. And that is going up, which we want to see in new listings. The problem is this. Look at active listings. Look at active listings. So active listings, rate of change, I'm sorry, active listings is 1 million active listings, up 12.28%. But look at the rate of change. Look. If I put these on the screen, you can see that that's actually how much it's going up volume-wise. This is the rate of change, though, how much it's changing year over year. And remember, we came from the basement of active listings. It's going down. It's been going down since the beginning of the year. We started at 18%. Now we're at 15, then we're at 15.65, right? Then 12.47, then 12.28, meaning the change from last year to this year is shrinking. To me, that's a warning sign that inventory isn't building like a lot of people may think it is. That's all. When I saw that, I was like, oh boy, because if it travels up, then inventory gaps are growing, and you should see a lot more active listings. But this tells me that there's demand or people taking their homes off the market at a rate which is lowering the rate of change down here. That's what I see when I look at it. All right, so that's active listings. Let's look at pending sales. By the way, pending sales aren't great. They're still down year over year, right? Pending sales are still down 0.8%, but the rate of change is sideways, I guess, right? Kind of starting to go up now with pending sales. Like, look at this. It used to be 3.9% down year over year. We actually started the year almost flat, but then it did drop. But I guess my point is that it's not going down. It's not trending down overall. It's trending flat. So people are buying homes. So we either need a lot more new listings or we do need pending sales to drop further to see more active listings stay on the market. You also have that factor of people pulling their home off the market who are like, those are wish pricing. Those are want to sell, not need to sell people. They don't need to sell. They just want to sell. Big difference. Just the want to sell people aren't going to give you a deal. The need to sell people, like I got to sell my home, otherwise I'm ruined. You will know when you run into one of those folks. And there's not a lot of them out there right now. There's not. Because those homes sell because they drop the price enough. All right. Median sale price. Then we'll dive into some of these metros before we wrap up. Yeah, median sale price up 3% year over year. But look at the rate of change again here. See this? This is that big gorilla in the room. Look at that. It's definitely dropping the rate of change. So that's to be expected. At some point, it has to go down, right? Or level off or have some type of lull. It can't go up forever, you wouldn't think. Although anything's possible, I suppose. Last year, though, remember, we peaked last year at 396 for the median sale price, which was up 4.4% approximately. So will we hit 396 this year? I don't know. Hard to say. It would definitely blow people. It would definitely surprise me if we did, but again, anything's possible. Okay, let's do our first metro. So I will do Columbus first because I live in Columbus or near Columbus. Columbus, Ohio. Let's do new listings in Columbus. Look at this, up 14.8% in Columbus. This is going straight up. A lot more new listings. Thank goodness. We need them. We need them. Pending sales. Look at this. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Pending sales in Columbus, Ohio. Holy shnikes. Up 17% year over year. Maybe all those realtors are right. Maybe all my fellow realtors that are like, never been a better time to buy. Maybe they're right. I don't know. Like, we're up 17% in pending sales. Something's happening. Almost a 4-year high. I mean, really close to a 4-year high right now. Huh. Interesting. I didn't expect to see that. I haven't looked at this yet. This is like the first time I'm cracking this open. Look at active listings. 19% year over year. It's kind of still sideways, though. See what I mean? On rate of change. Let me go back to pending sales real quick. Yeah, look at rate of change with pending sales in Columbus. Uh-oh. Not uh-oh, but wow. I mean, we started at down 5.3%. Then we hit 3.8% rate of change. Now we're at 17% rate of change. That's going straight up by far a 4-year high as far as rate of change. So, yeah, pending sales are definitely going up. And so, again, this isn't complicated stuff. Like, you can see, going back to active listings, that rate of change is not moving that much. It's kind of just still right in this area. But you have active listings rising. But if we didn't have more pending sales right now, this would go way up. We'd be up 40% or something. Who knows? Okay, let's look at median sale price in Columbus. $342,000. It's a 4-year high, up 3.2% year over year. I had thought this would start to come down, but it's not. We peaked at about 352 last year in Columbus, 353, call it. So it's just it's an affordable for a lot of people moving to the area. It's very affordable. Even $1 million homes here are like peanuts. In other words, there's some, if you're looking for like $1 million home or $1.5 million home or a $2 million home, and you live in New York City or you live in the West Coast, and you've got to, you get a job at, I don't know, Intel or something here in Columbus, then, or with Ohio State or something, like, you can come here and buy a couple $1 million homes. You're like, that's nothing. And you get a lot of home for $1 million. This is bargain shopping here in Central Ohio for out-of-towners, for the people that have grown up here, the locals, very unaffordable still. All right, now let's do Cleveland. Cleveland, believe land. What's up with Cleveland? Look at new listings in Cleveland. Still down 5% year over year. Wow. So Columbus is up 17%. Cleveland's down 5%. Look at active listings. What in the world? Down 22% in Cleveland. Okay. Inventory is not exploding everywhere, folks. Don't fall for that narrative. Pending sales in Cleveland. Look at this. Down 24% So nobody's listing a home compared to last year, at least. Nobody's buying homes. And inventory, there's nothing on the street. Nothing. Pending sales down 24%. Like, it's way down there. What's the rate of change? Yeah, look at the rate of change for pending sales. Look at that. Just woo down. Wow. Surprising. At some point, you'd think there'd be some inventory. Look at median sale price in Cleveland, up 11% year over year. Only $227,000. I think Cleveland and Detroit may be the most affordable metros if you want a metro with a pro football team. Well, you could argue that the Browns may not really have a pro football team, but they have 3 major sports teams, and you can buy a house at $227,000. But that's median. That's not, every house. What do we got here in time? 8:41. All right. Let's do Cincinnati, and then I'll jump into some other metros if you have one. Cincinnati, Ohio. Let's see. Let me just do this. 1 second. Christina. All right, new listings in Cincinnati, Ohio, up 17% year over year, like Columbus. Huh, okay. Pending sales in Cincinnati, what do we got? Those are up 11% as well, so more activity, good. You need some more churning of inventory. Got to have more churning to realize some price stability, as Fed Powell would say, price stability. Active listings up 17% year over year. What's the rate of change? It's trending down though in Cincinnati, probably because pending sales are going up. People are actually buying homes. Median sale price. No, that's new listing median sale price. Median sale price up 6%. $291,000. Even Cincinnati's affordable, somewhat. All right, my next one is Tucson, Arizona. Tucson, Arizona. My grandma used to live in Tucson, Arizona. I've been to old Tucson. I don't know if that still exists or not, but that's a cool area. Let's look at these other markets. Enough about Ohio. 9.5% new listings up year over year. It's not a 4-year high in Tucson. It's kind of leveled off, but it went up big time at the beginning of the year. Pending sales, how are they doing? Whoops. Come on, Jay. Down 0.5 percentage point. I did all that clicking for not a lot of action. And the rate of change is just kind of flat. So it doesn't seem like, I mean, you don't have a lot of people listing homes compared to last year now. You have, it doesn't seem like a lot of people are buying homes compared to last year. And you started in Tucson, look at that. You started at 30% year over year in active listings. And now you're at 22%. So definitely more active listings for sale. Let's look at days on market, median days on market. 64.25. That's up 9.25 days. So in a market like this, you should do this exercise, by the way, with real MLS data from a realtor in your area. But this is what I would do. I would look at the median days on market, and let's pretend it's 64 because this is the Redfin data for the whole metro area of Tucson. But pretend it's 64 days. If you find a house where it's been on the market 90 days, then you know that one is sitting longer than the median. So maybe that's one to make that offer on, that lower offer. That's how you can do it. And you can actually have an alert set up or a search set up by your realtor that will send you only listings that have been on the market over 64 days. They can do that. And then every time one passes that 64-day mark, you get the email. That's what I do. I've got a list of duplexes and triplexes. When they hit that 60-day mark, it hits my screen. There aren't a lot of them that are worth anything here that hit, that sit on the market that long. But when they do, I got that list. So that's how I would do it. Okay, let's look at median sale price. See if we've seen fun stuff there. Oh, wow, look at that. You're down 3%. Here's a market where prices are down. Look at that. Down. Okay. And rate of change is kind of flat, trending down somewhat. So there is some price discounts going on, it looks like, in Tucson. The point is, I would look for I think there was somebody who asked about Tucson specifically. I think a military base there, I believe they mentioned. And anyway, I would look for those days on market, find an opportunity where the house has been sitting for a little while. You can make offers on anything you want, but you have a much better chance if the home's been sitting a while. And then make an offer that makes sense for you, not what the guy wants, but what makes sense for you. Forget what the seller wants. And don't be attached to it. Just make the offer and move on. Doesn't work out, find the next one. It looks like there are houses for sale more than there were last year. All right, Tucson was one. The other one was Lakeland, Florida, somebody mentioned. Okay, there we go. Lakeland, Florida. New listings in Lakeland. Down 1.2% year over year. That's surprising. Does that surprise you? It would surprise me, because all I hear is about Florida like decimation. I mean, new listings, they're down year over year. Let's look at pending sales. Lakeland, Florida. Down 7.2%. My guess is active listings are up because nobody's buying, though nobody's listing either compared to last year. Yeah, look at that. You're only up 18%. Shoot, Columbus, Ohio is up that much in active listings year over year. And look at the rate of change. It's going down. So this number here is, you can see it's going down, right? The percentage year over year in active listings, but it looks to me like a bunch of people listed their home at the beginning of the year, and now there aren't as many people listing their home. This is where you're going to see the pain, folks. A lot of people are wondering, when is this apocalyptic event horizon going to happen in the housing market? Like, when are all these people going to finally have to sell all their homes? Well, you're going to see it in the new listings. That's where you're going to see it. And don't tell me that people are keeping homes off market for new listings. If somebody wants to sell a home, they're going to drop flyers from an airplane. They're going to put a banner behind an airplane flying along the beach, right? Or over the city. Buy my house, must sell today. They're going to have one of those billboard trucks driving around. They're going to do anything they can to sell that home. And they're going to price it to move. So new listings is where it's at if you want to see if there's pain. But in Lakeland, Florida, doesn't seem like there's a lot of new listings. Oops, median sale price. What do we got? Wow, 4-year low in median sale price, down 4.2%, 4.3% year over year. It's a 4-year low right now. This time last year, you were at 322. Now, 309. There's a discount for you. Somewhat of a discount. Good. A lot of homes probably sitting on the market in Lakeland that have been sitting there a long time. Finally, the owners are like, all right, we'll drop the price 5%, few $1,000. But it does seem like some people are cutting prices and maybe some opportunities. Let's look at the median days on market. What do I got? All right, I got time for a few more metros, and then I got a jam. Man, you guys have some great comments I'd love to get to. Ooh, I see one I really want to get to. But I'll do these metros first. Here in North Carolina, Magnolia Hollow is one of my homes, no mortgage, saving the money from another home I owned outright and sold on Valentine's due to uncertainties. Saving the money from another home I owned outright. Oh, okay. Good. Hey, you make money when you buy real estate, not when you sell. But that is when you extract the money, I guess, when you sell, right? Good. Good for you. Hopefully you made some cash on it. You know, maybe you find an opportunity to invest in. I don't know, maybe invest in Bitcoin or something. Whatever you do. Maybe you just give it to Robinhood and let it sit at, what are they paying, like 4.25 right now? 4? I think paying 4. San Antonio, Texas. Okay. And then somebody wanted to do Massachusetts. We got somebody doing Massachusetts. We got San Antonio. Okay. Let's do Massachusetts and San Antonio. Where in Massachusetts? You got to tell me. I'm like, Massachusetts. You want to do Boston? Let me look at Boston. Median days on market in Boston. I mean, look at this. It's lower than it was last year. I can't really click on it, but well, it's lower. Yeah, there we go. 19. Well, it's flat. 19 days on market. So homes are sitting about the same time as they were last year. That's unique when nationally we're up 5 days. But the East Coast is brutal. The Northeast is brutal on the housing market. Well, maybe the toughest market in the country. Way tougher than California. Not even close. I don't care whatever market you're in. The Northeast is just very difficult for inventory, very difficult for opportunities. No new building hardly. Year over year, up 27% in new listings, though. Wow. Okay. Well, that's good. You need that inventory. Check that out. Active listings. What do we got? In Boston. Wow, look at that. You're up 13.97 days. That's a big change. And that's going up. Your rate of change there is definitely going up. So there could be some relief in Boston, maybe. But my guess is you still need a lot more in order to make some kind of difference. Yeah, look at median sale price in Boston. 734, up 4% and not coming down. So it seems like maybe you have inventory more than you had last year, but not enough to cause any type of housing, correction, which is the case for a lot of markets. But I wonder if did you tell me what market you're in? Did we do math? Well, this is Boston, so hopefully this helped. I don't know what other market in Massachusetts you want me to do. Massachusetts. Can't say that. San Antonio. Let's do that one. By the way, let me see who asked for this. Yeah, DJ, you should go to, I don't have time to do it today, but you should go to down here to the monthly one. There's a monthly housing forecast or market report they do. And in that, you can actually pick what type of property. Look at this. I can actually pick townhouses. This is a monthly report, though. So they're not going to show you the last 4 weeks rolling average. They're looking at the last 90 days, actually, but only monthly they look at it. But go in there and you can look at townhouse information. That can maybe narrow down that townhouse you're trying to sell. All right. But let's go back up to San Antonio. Median sale price. Look at this. Down 2%. I mean, it was going straight up, then down. So you have somewhat of a discount, I guess. Look at new listings, though. They're actually down 2.3% year over year. However, there are probably some active listings yet, but not as many as I thought. Look at this in San Antonio. You only have 4.83% in active listings. Huh. I expected it to be a lot more, a lot higher. And rate of change is going down. I mean, the headlines are one thing, right? You see headlines, you hear talking points, talking heads go. Inventory is absolutely exploding in Texas and in Florida. Okay, well, it depends on what exploding you mean. But I mean, Columbus is up 19% year over year in active inventory, and San Antonio, where everything's falling apart, is only up 5% or whatever, and new listings are barely up at all. Let's look at median days on market. Whoa, look at that. Median days on market is going down big time. Like that rate of change, I mean, it's straight down. People were buying homes, it looks like. Definitely have more inventory, but it's not like it's skyrocketing and your days on market isn't skyrocketing either. I'm surprised at that. Okay. What do we got? Chicago. Ches. What's up, Ches? Chicago. Oops. I want to show that. Chi-town. Median days on market in Chicago. You're at year over year, just up not even a day. Right? Is that right? Yeah. Not even a day, 48.25. So about where it was last year with days on market in Chicago. New listings, how are they doing? Got more new listings, as most people do. 12.2% up year over year in new listings. So a little more new listings. A few more new listings, I guess. I mean, last year you had what? 1,900, almost 2,000. Now you've got 2,200, so you've got another 200 or so new listings. Is that going to make a difference in Chicago? Maybe. But look at back in 2022, you had 2,800. Now you got 2,200. Again, people have this idea that they're like, and I get it because people want so bad for inventory to grow so prices come down. I completely understand that. But in a market like Chicago, good example, while you are up in new listings, 2022, a couple years ago, you had a lot more new listings hitting the street than you do right now. So is it up? Yeah. Is it historically high? No. And look at this. Look at active listings in Chicago. Down 0.62%. What about pending sales? Those must be up or something. Yeah, pending sales up 3.7%. So you don't have a ton of, you haven't, I guess, over the last few months had a ton of new listings hitting the street. Now you've got pending sales growing. So people are actually buying houses. You can see pending sales, 2,098 homes pending in that time period. In that same time period, you had 2,200 homes hit the market. That delta was only 100 units. That's all that's getting added to that active listing count. And that's why the active listing count isn't crazy. What about median sale price? It's really not that. I mean, I'm surprised how inexpensive Chicago is. 362 grand median sale price, but that's up 7% year over year. No sign of slowing down. You peaked at 373,000 last year in June and May, June. So, wow. Every market's different, obviously. Always interesting stuff to look at. What else we got? Any other ones? But thanks for suggesting Chicago. Ches, got some movement. Good. I'm glad you're seeing some movement out there. That's great. That's what you want to see. You want to see homes that go on the market and then like a price change maybe after a few weeks or a couple weeks. They lower the price like a normal market, and then you see the home sell after being on the market a month. I'm just like using an example here in Central Ohio. Like that's normal. Hey, it took me 30 days to sell my home. Normal. What's not normal is it took me 1 day to sell my home. I got 10 offers. That's not normal. That's not healthy. Demand is still there. Right. Yeah, I'm sure it is. It looks like it's still there. The data is showing it, right? It is. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing too, Chess. There's a comment up here, though, that I definitely want to get to. It's this one. Italian beef and Pepsi. I purchased my first quadplex using a 203K FHA. 2 of the units had gutted bathrooms and kitchens, and the porch was falling apart. What Italian beef is, what Italian beef and Pepsi, by the way, I can't believe you like Pepsi. Pepsi, really? We all know Coke is better than Pepsi. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. This program right here. If you're looking to buy real estate, not even as a first-time buyer, but just somebody looking to buy real estate, and you can be flexible in your living situation. If you can buy a duplex, a triplex, or a quadplex, live in one unit and rent out the other 3, your future self will thank you. Your future self will say, thank you for doing this work and being different than what other people do. When I say different, I mean, hey, I want that move-in ready house on the corner that everybody else wants. Wrong. Think differently. You can buy a 4-unit quadplex, live in one side, live in one unit, fix up the others, rent them out. And with a quad, you could easily make, it's potential you could make it work where you're not only having your mortgage paid for you, the entire mortgage, but it's possible that you are actually cash flowing out of all that. It's possible. Depends on, the building, where you live, how you buy it, all that stuff. But if I had to just, start over again right now in real estate, and with, I guess going back to like your working life, you think you want to be a corporate vice president of sales. If I would have shaken myself and gone, hey, no, I'd have gone out and found a 4-plex, live in one unit, rent out the other 3. Cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. That's like a money printer you're buying. It is. It's going to take a while for it to materialize. Not going to happen overnight. It's not easy, but it's simple. So there are quads, there are duplexes, there are triplexes. I can guarantee it in your area that you could probably find by driving the streets, finding one that looks like it may need some work, and writing a letter to the owner, sending it to him. The owner calls you. What do you want to talk about? Oh, your building. And as somebody who lives in the building, you have great advantages with financing, and you can use the 203K loan to fix it up. That's what the Italian beef is talking about. You use the FHA loan to buy the property, and you can use an FHA 203K loan to fix up the property. And it's 100% legal. It's not a scam. And you can actually be an investor and a homeowner at the same time. And by living in that building, you could manage the other tenants. You can manage the tenants, or you can outsource it. You don't have to manage the tenants, but a lot of people would. I'd love to know more, Italian beef, about how that turned out for you, what those numbers look like on another live. Why don't you share that with us? That's awesome. Great job. I think you've told us that before, but I love that. I love hearing that. Love it. Not many people will do this work. So good for you. Did you actually renovate the other 2 units? Maybe you did. And so like somebody like, let's see, like Ches in Chicago. I don't know if you're looking to buy, Ches. I don't even know if you are looking to buy, but I got to think Chicago has a lot of older buildings. That's what I would go after. At least that's me. That's just my little the way I would do things. Look at an older duplex that needs work and use that 203K loan. What else we got? What's this one? Can you speak about the class action suit against a few real estate companies that has a May 9th deadline? How does it impact the way you do business? I'm not sure I know what you're talking about. Class action. I mean, I know the big class action suit we had a while back, but I don't know about this one with May 9th deadline. I guess I'm not in the know, or I'm not paying attention to that. I will say how the class action suit with the National Association of Realtors, how has that changed things? I do think commissions are coming down. Now, other realtors may tell you I'm nuts, but I think commissions are starting to come down because the conversation is happening now, I think, more than it did before, where the seller is really separating that buyer agent commission compared to their seller agent commission. Like I think a lot of listing agents are starting to figure out that, well, it's easier in a way to get a listing if I tell the seller, hey, I'm not moving my commission, but you can offer less for the buyer agent. And they'll figure that out. Either the buyer agent and the buyer will ask for it in their offer, or the buyer agent will just take less money, or the buyer will have to make that difference up. But I am seeing because I think that separation's happening, and it's almost turned into a like a catalyst to get more listings for some people, because now you're having that conversation, if that makes sense, about the commission. So I think commissions are starting to come down, maybe slightly. I wouldn't be surprised if that metric started to drop a little bit, especially for the buyer agent side, which is a shame, because a lot of times, many times, that's the hardest job, being a buyer agent compared to the listing agent. Not always, but a lot of times. But if you're a good agent and you have value, you don't really have to discount your rate. But not everybody needs an agent, by the way. A lot of people sell the home themselves, right? You could sell the home yourself. You could do a flat fee listing. You could do that where you pay the agent just to put the home on the MLS. I'm seeing more of that. And the owner handles all the showings, all the negotiation, all the paperwork after that. And the agent is just listing the house on the MLS for like a flat one-time fee that is paid at closing. I'm seeing a lot more of that. So that would be an option out there. So that's a long answer to your little question, but I don't know about the May 9th deadline. I just know what I'm, from the National Association of Realtor big bad lawsuit that happened a couple of years ago, or last year, or whatever. Yeah, but beyond that, I don't know. Well, I guess the other change that they made was now that there's like sellers don't have to put the home on Zillow and Realtor.com and Redfin. That's coming too, where a seller before, if they put it on the MLS, it hit Zillow and Redfin. Now they can choose to keep it off Zillow and Redfin. Not a lot of people will do that probably, but some will for various reasons. Okay. What else we got here? Any other comments? Let me see if there's another one. Sorry, just looking through this. What's this one? Oh, it's about the stock market. The average week is around 2% down when the Pope passes away. Huh. Didn't know that. Okay. Thanks for that tip. All right. Well, it's past my deadline. I got to get on with the day, go look at some properties. But be on the lookout. I will do lives this week, but I'm also going to put out a couple other videos that talk about that talk about how homes are actually still selling. And I'm working on an Airbnb video as well. That one will be really interesting, I think. So I'm working on that one, and some foreclosure videos and whatnot. There's tons of topics out there to talk about. Did you look at the housing market indicators monthly report from the HUD website? Do you look at the housing market indicators? Sometimes I do. Not every month, I guess. Not on a schedule. Why? Is there something there I should pay attention to? I know there's definitely more delinquency in foreclosures. Is that what you mean? Maybe I'll review that report on a future video coming up. There's no shortage of reports to review. That's for sure. There's no shortage. All right. Well, listen, if you're on this live, do me a favor. Don't be a freeloader. Just hit the like button. Consider subscribing to the Housing Nerd. But you don't have to. A lot of people watch and they don't subscribe. That's okay. Yeah, but the report hasn't been updated since September. Yikes. That's not good. I wonder why that is. Thanks for your insight. Oh, you're welcome, Chess. Yeah, so look, sorry, subscribe or not. That's okay. And but just hit the like button at least. And thanks for all your time today. And thanks for the great conversations. You guys are doing a great job bringing different topics. I love I love to see people win in real estate. I don't mind the complaining. Like if you want to complain and be upset about the housing market, come to this channel and you can abuse the housing nerd. Take your aggression out on me. I'm an investor. I'm a realtor. Use me as the punching bag. Tell me how upset you are about the housing market, how unfair it is. I'm fine. We'll walk through all that. But I do really love to see the people that are winning and still moving forward despite what the market's doing, whether they're selling, buying on the sidelines, but they're doing the work that's needed. That's what I love to see. So have a great day. I will see you on the next video. I'm the housing nerd. I'm out.